third graders. As you saw through the PowerPoint, we are going to be creating a fall print for printmaking, okay? And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to have this white piece of paper. And we've already learned about symmetry, so we've learned about leaves that are symmetrical, and we've kind of talked about the printmaking process. Now this is where I'm going to show you how it all works. So everyone's going to have a piece of white paper about this same size, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to fold it hot dog style. Now you want to make sure you really line up your corners when you're folding this. Fold it right in half. So you'll have a nice crease down the middle. This is going to help you make sure that your leaf is symmetrical. Now you're going to start at that middle crease all the way at the top. I don't want to make a tiny little leaf right in the middle of my paper. I want to make a big leaf. So I'm going to start making my leaf. And then I'm going to draw a line right down the center, right where that crease is, on the middle of my leaf. Now I'm going to add some of the details to my leaf. So I drew some of the lines in the middle, just how you should do it also. And then I'm going to fold my paper right in half. But instead of folding it towards the center and covering up your leaf, you want to fold it back. So that way you can see your leaf on one side of your fold. And then you're going to, very carefully, you should be able to see through your paper and see the leaf through the other side. Let's see if you can see that. So my leaf is drawn on one side, and I'm flipping it over and using the white side. Now this is where I'm going to draw through the other side, and it can be kind of tricky to see, so you might have to lift it up and look in the light a little bit. And then I'm even going to draw those middle detail lines. Like I said, you might have to hold it up in the air to be able to see it up to one of the lights. I'm just kind of lightly sketching it in now. And then I will draw it correctly. And draw it darker once I have it opened up. Okay, so now I have my symmetrical leaf. Now here's where the fun part comes, the actual printmaking process. Now this is styrofoam, kind of like the styrofoam that maybe when your mom or dad buys meat, raw meat from the store, it comes in those styrofoam trays, and sometimes you probably like to put your nail in it and draw or write your name in the styrofoam. It's exactly what this is, and it's exactly what we're going to be doing. Now, you're going to take your white piece of paper and put it right on top of your styrofoam. Right on top of it, just like this. And you're going to hold it down with one hand because you don't want it to move all around. So holding down very steadily with one hand, you're going to trace this. And I'm pushing pretty hard with my pencil. If your paper rips, that's okay. We do not need the paper anymore. And I'm tracing every single line that I drew in pencil. And now I'm going to do my inside detail lines. I'm making sure not to move my page. And you can kind of hear, I don't know if you can hear this, my paper is ripping a little bit, which is okay, because we do not need this paper anymore. Now, when I lift it up, you can see that indent in my styrofoam. That's exactly what you want, but you want it even deeper than that. So I'm going to go over with my pencil and push really hard in all of my lines and get that pencil mark really deep. But I do not want to put a hole in my styrofoam. That would not be good. It's okay if you put a hole in your paper, but not your styrofoam. So I'm going through and tracing all of these lines again, making sure that my leaf is symmetrical and the same on both sides. So basically what we're doing is we're creating a stamp. Now, I'll have a roller and a big piece of glass on each table. You do not want to pick up this glass because you do not want you to drop it and break it. The glass is used to put the ink on. So you can see this black, it kind of looks like paint. Well, it's ink. And then you'll have a roller. But in printmaking, it kind of looks like a roller, like what your parents or someone would paint your house with. But in printmaking, it's called a brayer. Okay? So there's the ink and the brayer. Now, I will probably roll it out for you, but you're going to have this all rolled out, and it's going to look like just a big black blob line. Now, I want you to listen very carefully at this part. Can you hear that sound that the ink is making? It's kind of like a kissing sound. Okay, you want that sound. If you do not and your ink is sliding all over, that means you have too much ink, but you want to hear this sound. So, I'm going to have, I should have a newspaper down actually. That's all right. So I'm going to put my ink right on my roller. And look what's happening. What's happening where I drew my pencil lines? It's not going down in there, is it? The ink is not getting down in where I put my pencil lines. So that's what's going to create the stamp. So everything is going to be black except where you drew your pencil lines. Now what would happen if my pencil lines were not deep enough? The ink would get down into my pencil lines and it would not have a clear print. Now everyone's going to use this orange paper because we're doing fall prints, so I want them to all be orange. And you're going to take your paper and set it right very carefully. You don't want it to be diagonal or off to the side. Your paper needs to get as close as you can to it and line it up and then drop it on there. And however, have you guys ever used a stamp and you stamped down and then you accidentally moved it? What happened to your stamp? It didn't turn out, did it? Just like in printmaking, if you move your paper once you set it down or move your styrofoam, it will not turn out. So now I'm just taking my hand and I'm just rubbing in circles all around my styrofoam, and I can feel my styrofoam. I'm rubbing all over. And once you think it's all rubbed really well, I would say rub for maybe 5 to 10 seconds. Then you take it and you peel it up. And there's my print. So, you can print as many as you'd like. But for our project, you're going to have 2 prints. And I'll talk to you more about that on the details for our project. But I just wanted you to see how the printmaking process worked. Awesome!